Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Okay, so Halloween Kills is a serious mess of a cinematic experience, to the point where several times I was left feeling rather flabbergasted, for lack of non-fancy words to describe feelings about movie. But the advantages of that silly word is it communicates just how absurd this film got, and if I'm being honest, the absurdity of it, whether it was intended to or not, did kind of suck me into the experience and cause me to kind of dig it. I mean, dig it just enough that I didn't feel miserable as I was watching it. So I guess my stirring endorsement for this film is I don't think it completely wasted my time. But that's not exactly something you go and put on the poster now, is it? So here's the part where I say I'm not exactly a Halloween scholar. I barely know the lore. Look, I'll admit it. I've seen a good number of the movies, including the most important one.
So you want to be on Dangertainment? Let's see what you got.
And I kind of like the last one, even though it does do the modern reboot thing of wiping away every film from the franchise except for the first one, which in this case is an actual crime.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
But as a buddy of mine recently pointed out while we watched Halloween 3, okay, actually, quick segue here, because you see this robot guy from Halloween 3? That's my dad. Yeah, Patrick Pankhurst. He's one of the killer robots in this movie. Well, he's a scientist robot, but you know what I mean. And fun fact, he's the only one of the robots that gets to talk.
Sir, malfunction.
Anyway, if Halloween 2018 really erases every film but the 1978 classic, that means going into 2018, Michael Myers has only killed 4 people 40 years ago. And yeah, you know, I mean, we the audience know Michael Myers very well. And how bad he is. We can all agree on that. Michael Myers is quite bad. But the people in the movie don't really know him or any of those things. Not really. I mean, kinda, but not really. It's been 40 years since he killed 4 people. Or 5? Was it 5? Less than 6. The point is less than 6. I'm not saying the people in this town shouldn't be upset a serial killer who killed 4 or 5 people 40 years ago is loose in his town. I'm just saying the movie needs to not make these things out to be more than they were, that's all. And it just gets worse in Halloween Kills, where murderous mobs are chasing Michael Myers all over the town screaming, "Evil dies tonight! Evil dies tonight!" Even though Halloween Kills takes place the exact same night as Halloween 2018, which is this movie's biggest issue by far. Its priority being a Halloween movie before being a good movie. Which is why pretty much every scene features everyone talking about the first 1978 film and what happened during it. And I am not exaggerating that. Do not play a drinking game with this movie. If you take a shot every time this movie references the earlier film, you will be out cold long before the second act has started. It's this mentality of IP before everything else you see these days in major filmmaking. It's the exact same thing that held back 2/3 of the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. Thinking the important part of a new Star Wars movie was it being a Star Wars movie and not just, you know, telling a story. Actually, Rogue One and Solo really struggled with that too, didn't they? As did Star Trek Into Darkness, a movie that let everything, literally everything, ride on the name recognition of a Star Trek character not called Kirk or Picard.
My name is Khan.
And that pause, oh my god, after he says it, it gets me every time. It's like an applause break for a play. A moment to let the audience flip their shit because this dude said the word Khan. Because that name means nothing to this guy over here. It's a meaningless moment given weight for the benefit of, I guess, the audience by bad writing and a director who would go on to make 2 out of the 4 Star Wars movies that were in love with being Star Wars movies. Very similar to how Halloween Kills is absolutely in love with being a Halloween movie. And if you're out there thinking I would enjoy Halloween Kills more if I knew all the references and majored in Halloween history at Carpenter University, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. No disrespect to CU, it's a fine school, but being familiar with all the callbacks would merely make them empty and pandering instead of just alienating. Which might actually be worse, because alienating at least engages my brain as I try to understand what I'm watching, where empty and pandering makes me feel like I'm wasting my time, like with Star Trek Into Darkness and most of the Disney Star Wars things. Not all, but most. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Halloween Kills. A unique movie-going experience. So fun fact, I know several people who managed to see super early screenings of this, like pre-COVID early screenings of this. So I've known for some time that I was not going to enjoy this movie, but even with that mindset going into it, I still wasn't ready for just how much of a mess that was absolutely in love with itself that this movie turned out to be. I don't know if anything could have really prepared me for that. And to get specific for a moment, there's gonna be some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, this video is super late, but if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to click off here in 3, 2, 1. So there's a scene in this movie where a legacy character from the very first Halloween movie from 1978 makes an appearance, and he's a very prominent character throughout the movie, and he makes this appearance at a talent show for a local bar in this town that got ravished by a killer 40 years ago, and by ravished I mean he killed 4 or 5 people, but anyway, and this guy who is a main character in this movie ruins everybody's night by not showing a talent but telling the story of all those people getting murdered in very unnecessary detail. And I'm just kind of sitting here going, why does this scene exist? And it just keeps going and going and going. Like, it's probably not like a 10-15 minute scene, but it felt like it went on for like 15 minutes. It was so uncomfortable, and I just kept trying to put myself in the mind of the people who are just trying to enjoy their night, enjoy this talent show, enjoy a drink, enjoy their holiday with some friends. And now there's this asshole up on stage just kind of talking about the time that he nearly died when a bunch of other people did die. And it just won't stop. Guys, it goes on for so long. Like, if nothing else from this video, I want you to take away how long that monologue went on for. Also, my pseudo manager has been talking to me about how I should do a little more lengthy sign-off to videos than kind of just the hard cut and I'm done that I've been doing a lot lately, to give me a chance to just kind of say, you know, some off-the-cuff stuff that I didn't necessarily have time to get into too deep a detail in this movie, like Big John, Little John. Loved them. Also plugged my Patreon, so if you feel like giving me, and also so I can sit here and just say, how do you think I look right now? This video took a little longer to take than it would have normally because I'm trying to become better as a video maker guy, so I've been taking some video maker guy classes online and stuff like that, so I learned how to do some color correction. I didn't have to do too much with this video, but you know, it could have looked like this, but I took the time to learn how to make it look like this. Does it look better? Does it look worse? I don't know. I think it looks slightly less bad, but you are the experts in that because you have to look at my face however I make it look, so please tell me down in the comments down below if you think it looks good or not, and then go to my older videos where I would do on-camera stuff and tell me if you think it looked better or if it looked worse. You know, let's try to game that SEO and game that algorithm a little bit here together. What do you say? And also, I guess, you know, let me know in the comments whether or not you liked or disliked Halloween Kills. I have a feeling a lot of people didn't like it very much, but maybe I'm wrong and there's a whole swarm of people out there in the world that absolutely adored this movie. And if that is the case, I want each and every one of that swarm to come to my comments and tell me how wrong I am, and you give me that dislike and you give me that don't unsubscribe, and actually don't give me the dislike either. Yeah, this kind of stuff's probably not going to make my channel grow in any serious capacity, so bye.